What is going on, guys? Hopefully you all are able to see me. All right, this is part two of our three-part video series about Dead at 39, which is my videos. I have one about bullying. This one is actually going to be about behaviors, and I have the third one about balance. So hopefully I can keep my baby up here. His name is Kane. He'll be 8 in August. So I have him as comfort as I go through this video. Now, if you looked at the last video, I talked about bullying. This time I'm talking about behavior. So when I went through the bullying in middle school, I'm finally in high school now. So now I'm in 10th, 11th, and 10th, 11th, 12th grade. So I'm in high school, and things died down with the bullying. Everything had started changing as far as people talking about me and things like that. People were older. It wasn't the teasing anymore. We wasn't doing any of that. And on August the 25th, 1994, I was going into my junior year. I was 15 years old, and I was headed to go get my books. We had to go get our books for school, of course. And I caught the bus. Now, we didn't have phones. So I caught the bus to go get my books and pick up my books in my schedule. So I go pick up my books in my schedule. And during that time, if somebody caught you doing something, or if another adult saw you, they would tell your parents and all of that. So, of course, I'm a teenager. I'm doing stuff I probably had no business doing. But I go get my books in my schedule. And then I decided to go swing by a boy's house. I said, let me go and swing by this guy's house and hang around with him for a little while and talk and do all this other stuff. So I go and I do that. And so I get home a few hours later. I'm walking down the street, and during that time, everybody, was sitting outside on the porch. Now, we've always had people sitting outside on my porch at where I live. We had people on the porch all the time. So, but this particular day was kind of weird. There was a lot of people on my porch. My grandmother loved sitting on the porch in her rocking chair, and she would sit out there and rock back and forth, and people would come visit. So all these people were on the porch. And I get there, and everybody kind of looking kind of weird, and I was like, oh man, I'm in trouble for sneaking over to see this boy right after I should have been coming straight home from getting my books. So I go in, and then all these people follow me in. I say hello. Everybody kind of side-eyeing each other. And they sit down and they say, hey, we got something to tell you about your mom. And I already knew. Like, it just hit me. I said, okay. So they was like, I want you to sit down. Your mom's gone. I said, okay. I said, she's gone. I said, you mean she's dead? And they said, yeah. And I just dropped. I remember them saying, get her some air. So I remember going outside. I remember doing that, but I don't remember like anything else after that. I remember them trying to get me calm and all of that. So this is where the behaviors that I display started. So when we talk about kids and behaviors, there's always a reason behind the behavior, whether we know what it is or not, but there's a reason why we act the way we do at times. There's a reason why kids behave the way they do at times. So I was always able to, when I got connected with kids with disabilities and working with them, especially the behavioral ones, I always had like some connection with them somehow, because I always felt that, of course, we all know as educators, there is always a reason why people do things they do. So she passed away. They started getting me details about what happened. And unfortunately, she was shot execution style. And left in a field. And here's the catch. Here's the part that I had to struggle with, like, balancing. She was left in the field not too far from my high school. So I know the exact address. I know where it is today. She was left in that field, and they found her body that morning. So they were waiting on me to get home from getting my books and stuff so they could tell me. The detectives came to the house earlier, a little bit after I had left. And I started just not caring. I could care less what teachers thought. I could care less what friends were saying. And I had support. But you got to remember, my grandmother tried the best. She was a strong woman. I rarely saw her cry. And I caught her crying one time. Like I snuck in and caught her crying, weeping. And she was just so strong to me. Very God-fearing woman, Pentecostal in the church. But I started just going out. School started back. I went back to school. Chairs being thrown. I was throwing chairs. I was trying to be tough, threatening teachers, really just aggressive. And I had a program that I was in, and one day I got a C, and I was so angry, and I got mad at that teacher, and I threatened him, and almost got put out of the program. And I really did not care at all. So I had teachers and a couple of people that really helped support me. I had Mr. name was Mr. Hogg. I had him. He was a really cool guy. I had Mr. Hogg. I had let me try to straighten. Yeah, he got a little handsome. He got a little handsome for everybody. I had Mr. Hogg. I had a counselor, but Mr. Hogg was the one that I saw every single day. So I saw Mr. Hogg every day, and with him, he was just a really cool guy. He really tried to help me when this happened. I walked out of class. I was skipping class. And it was almost like an uncontrollable thing. My grandmother let me do whatever I wanted. Anytime I asked to do something or go somewhere, her response was, yes, you can go. Yep. And I knew she was grieving, but I didn't realize it was she's grieving her daughter. But I was grieving my mom, but I lashed out at it. And I felt like, okay, I don't have a mama. There's nothing you can tell me. What can you tell me? Although she was dealing with those things, I still was hurting, right? So when I look at our kids today and I see some of the things that they deal with and they go through and they do, it's a reason behind it. And that's how I'm able to kind of pull back and look and say, okay, there's something going on with this particular kid. He is dealing with something. And that's why I tend to try to give a little grace and get to the bottom of that, because we know things trigger behaviors, right? So I get through high school, still dealing with all the stuff, not coming home, going out, sneaking out the house, just doing all kinds of stuff, and stopped going to church. My grandmother never, after my mom passed away, it was like she stopped. I gotta say parenting. She said, stop pressuring me to do stuff. So when I said I wasn't going to church, I was like, she was just like, okay. She never really forced me anymore to do stuff. And I was gone. A whole lot was gone. And so after that, we get to the end, and I'm still hurting and grieving, right? But not realizing it. I had people programs that people were, the counselors that were putting me in programs, but I just could not stop these behaviors. I just kept doing stuff and kept getting chance after chance after chance. And I think finally, I eventually met a teacher that I was really close to, and started to realize that some of the things that I was doing was affecting not only me, but everybody around me. So when I think about behaviors when kids, and when you think about behaviors with kids, think about what is the root cause of the behavior. Think about what it is. I woke up many mornings just not in the mood, not wanting to be there. I felt like nobody could relate. I felt like I could do what I want because she was gone. And losing a mother, anybody losing a mother or losing a family member is hard. And but I had a chip on my shoulder because I felt like she was snatched from me. So picture going to school every day, high school every day, and where they found your mother's body was two, 3 streets over from the high school. And I went there every day. So I was always reminded of it, and I was very angry about it. And I just shut down. I did. I shut down. I got very sneaky and just was doing all kind of stuff. And so that's the end of my bullying, as far as like, I mean, not bullying, the end of my behavior part. As far as I don't want to go too deep into it, but her death really did affect me and caused me to, I don't say caused me, but I just started just really displaying all these behaviors. And I think the teaching, her being a teacher, and then me having those behaviors, all of this kind of guided me into still working on my purpose as to what I wanted to do when I got older. So this is part 2. We're just ending. We thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And part 3, in regards to balance, will be coming soon. Thank you and take care.